الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر.
Do you know what happiness is? Yesterday someone called me saying, Mufti Sahab, 80% of your fans are calling you a courtier and a state puppet. I said, friend, I used to pray for something. They do not fear the blame of any critics. I was just in the middle of explaining that very same verse to you all, mentioning that I was explaining the specific verse where Allah says that if you turn away from your faith, Allah will surely bring forth a people who will truly love Him and whom He will love in return for their absolute and sincere devotion, who will love Allah. I was explaining this verse. Are you paying attention to me? Look, the logical point is that if a laborer isn't working or lifting sacks like he is supposed to, then you would naturally say, if you won't do it, I will simply get someone else. That is the logical flow. So the Quran should have said, O believers, if you do not speak the truth any longer, or if you turn away from the faith, I will create other people who definitely will not turn back. That is what we expect to hear, but the Quran did not actually say that in its verses. The Quran says, if you turn away from faith, I will bring people who truly love Allah and dedicate themselves entirely to Him alone. Isn't that a truly unique and profound way of speaking? Allah says, if you turn away, I will bring people who love Allah. Why do people turn away from their faith in the first place? What is the root cause? It is very strange that the Quran links turning back from faith specifically with the concept of love and devotion. It is not a lack of evidence or logic, it is actually a lack of love. When a person truly loves someone, they simply do not want that person to ever be against them. So what happens is, when a scholar faces a direct conflict between the public's opinion and Allah's command, whichever one of those two he loves more will dictate his final choice. One cares about the criticism and blame of those they do not love, but ignores it completely for the sake of the one they truly love. Did you get that point or not? This is a very big trial and test. So I always prayed for myself back in the days when I was still training to become a qualified Islamic scholar. Because sometimes the truth must be told, but one starts compromising. Compromise in Arabic implies being slippery like oil. It creates a dangerous slippery slope where one begins to fear, if I reveal this truth, I will be publicly disgraced and shamed, such as when you discuss the highly sensitive topic of women's rights. You won't be disgraced at all. In fact, everyone will be on your side if you only speak of those specific rights that favor the popular opinion of society today, that women are getting but aren't rightfully theirs according to Sharia. I swear to God, it is very hard to speak on this. Even the international world will turn against you for doing it. And the general public too. Even your very own family members will turn against you. Today I have seen so many motivational speakers doing exactly this sort of thing, who talk about women's rights just to flatter them and gain popularity. They know these are rights they cannot give their own wives at home. If they actually gave those rights away, she would rule over us like a boss and eventually kick us out of our own house. Speaking with true and perfect balance is a very difficult task indeed. Do you understand what I am saying to you or not at all? Do you know why Mr. Ghamidi explains children's rights so much? Ghamidi has already stated that obedience to parents is not mandatory in the way we traditionally understand it. Did he say it or not? He said it because most young people today just want to hear that they aren't strictly obligated to obey their parents' wishes anymore. So he put this idea out there into the market, and it is getting such great comments because the youth truly love hearing this. Every single person wants to have total and complete freedom. Ghamidi Sahib stated that we are only commanded to treat parents with kindness. Well, brother, even the Westerners and non-believers say that same thing. Not just to parents, we are told to be kind to neighbors too. We must be kind to every person we meet, even to the police officers. There is a command for kindness towards everyone, isn't there? It is the same for soldiers, for subordinates, and for masters. What new concept have you actually brought for parents into the market for everyone to hear? What truly distinguishes parents is that you must be devoted to them, except in un-Islamic matters. And that is the real and most important point for us to understand here. This is what troubles the youth. Now tell me, are there more parents or more young people in the world today? Obviously, the youth are much greater in their total number compared to parents. So who exactly is he trying to please? The youth. Behind every falsehood, there is always a clever label of protecting the rights of the vulnerable and the weak to gain public sympathy. All those spreading falsehood talk about the rights of the weak to gain sympathy. Take Ghamidi Sahib's clip that was released yesterday concerning various divorce issues. He says clerics made up useless divorce rules. Brother, divorce requires careful thought, and Sharia has already clearly defined a proper process for how it actually happens. Moreover, the government is permitted to legislate. If they enact a law concerning divorce, then that law must also be followed by everyone as well. Everyone wrote this. Look, mullahs have ruined people's homes because no one wants their angry words of divorce to actually take effect. Everyone wants that even if they say it. It should be my own decision whether it counts or not. What do you think? If I want to leave her, I will personally choose to consider it a valid divorce. If I don't want to, then I simply won't count it as one. That explains all these comments. Ghamidi Sahab is followed a lot in foreign countries like America and Canada because they want that kind of Islam. An Islam that provides freedom and is free from all sorts of restrictions. Do you understand what I am saying to you or not? Now, when someone comes to a fundamentalist mullah like me after giving a divorce in a fit of anger, no matter how much he rants and raves or how much his children and family are suffering as a result, or how much his wife is screaming and crying, I do not have the audacity to tell him that the divorce did not take effect. I simply do not have that nerve within me. Do you see what I mean? That is precisely when he will get frustrated and say to me, don't ask him, go get a fatwa from the Ahle Hadith instead. Okay? Go and get a fatwa from Ghamidi or from this person or that person or whoever else you can possibly find in this world. The reason for this, my brother, is that the biggest trial for any mufti is whether he cares about being blamed by people for the fatwa he gives, or if he remains firm on truth, or if he doesn't care at all. This is a very difficult matter, a very tough issue indeed. Remaining steadfast on the truth in such difficult situations is very hard to do, Hazrat. Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi, RH, once wrote that people who follow their own desires, what is it that they actually end up doing in their daily lives with Sharia? Regarding Sharia, I am paraphrasing his words in my own way. Desire-driven scholars are always busy trying to favor the public's whims, just to favor the general public. Now, Mr. Ghamidi gave such a very long speech recently and everyone is saying, fantastic, he is absolutely the best. Someone wrote that while it is a long speech, it actually has no evidence. It is completely devoid of any solid proof. That clip of Mr. Ghamidi played just now, did you see it, right? He is opposing the idea of having 4 wives. Why is he opposing it? Just to gain the favor of women. Do you understand exactly whose favor he is seeking? Women are very pleased by that stance. Look, in my lecture, there might be a few women. Who knows why they came to listen? You see, if I start talking about that here and telling them what they want to hear, just wives' rights, set them all free, and nothing else, let there be no head of the family and so on. Even then, I know that all of you would still attend my lectures regardless. The number of women attending the statement will double. Do you understand? Double the women. So this is what we call manjan. Do you know what manjan is? You will find this specific word being used. This manjan business only happens in Pakistan, which is why you will only find this word being used in Pakistan. So one must be very careful about this particular matter. In domestic disputes, a major issue arises when your final decision ends up going against one of your own close relatives. It becomes a very big and difficult trial for you to face. I have faced this trial 2 or 3 times myself. I knew full well that my own relatives were the ones who were actually in the wrong in those cases. Now, how was I supposed to give a decision against them at that moment, brother? It was very difficult. So I prayed to Allah a lot. I wondered what to do and I told both parties to bring their claims in writing. On one side were my relatives and I felt the pressure of the situation. I knew they were wrong. I said, bring it in writing. I was trying to avoid it, hoping someone else would decide because I knew that the truth would be hard to bear for them. But they insisted I decide the case. I said, fine, bring it in writing, but you must accept my final decision at any cost, no matter what it is and who it might favor. No ifs or buts will be allowed. I thought they would run away hearing this condition, but they insisted anyway. So my close relatives came forward to me. They thought I might decide in their favor. I said, brother, bring it in writing. There will be no deviating left or right. I will judge based strictly on what is written here. So they finally brought the document to me. So we issued the ruling against our own relatives. They became so enraged. I told them, Bata, why did you ask me for a decision? Now you do it yourselves. It is a very difficult thing for any person to go against their own kin and family members at such a critical moment. It takes a lot of courage and faith to stand by the truth against your own blood. Going against one's own family. Anyway, look how the topic shifted. Allah said that if you ever turn back from the faith and the path of truth, then Allah will bring forth people who will love Allah and Allah will love them in return. Next are Allah's specific words describing their unique qualities. They do not fear the blame of any critic who might reproach them. They will not care about anyone's reproach or harsh criticism regarding their devotion to Allah. These are very powerful words indeed. For those people who truly love Allah, He has described these specific qualities, that they don't care about anyone's harsh criticism concerning Allah. Allah stated these as their primary identifying traits for us all to see. Why is that exactly? Because reproach is something that a lover, for the sake of his beloved, will find easy to ignore. The lover is so focused on his beloved's pleasure, will even endure the loss of his reputation. Otherwise, nothing in the world is as dear to a person as their personal honor. You must have often heard of the public humiliation that lovers face for their passion. Does anyone ever get disgraced in such a way except for lovers? Brother, those lovers, lovers are completely different from others. I am reminded of a verse by Mutanabi. It is truly remarkable. Mutanabi has written a very famous couplet about this state of the heart. He is one of the greatest poets of the Arabic language, and he captured the essence of love and criticism in his lines, which I will share with you now because it fits our current religious discussion perfectly. Mutanabbi describes a lover who fell in love with a beloved. You'll understand this example perfectly now. For a moment, put aside all we have said so far in this lecture. Now that your full attention is focused right here, you will start to grasp exactly what I am saying about the nature of love and blame. The poet says, you reproach me because of my intense love, saying that I fell for so-and-so and that I am being disgraced in the eyes of the general public for it all now. A lover roams the streets. That brought great shame in the old days, but not anymore. Shamelessness, mashallah, has reached such a peak in our modern times. That shameless acts now bring honor. The more shameless one is, the more they are celebrated by society. Soon, shameless might even become a title of honor for people. If a proposal comes for your daughter and the man is shameless, they will say, marry them at once. That is how rapidly our times are changing for the worse. The entire world is changing rapidly. If someone is called an honorable person now, they are immediately labeled a fundamentalist or a traditionalist, as if those are actually bad things to be. I don't know if he'll tie her with a rope or what, if he'll enforce the veil, do this or that. But when they say, I won't make her veil, I'll have her wear skirts. And take her out, I'll have her wear sleeveless clothes. If she wants to go to a nightclub and dance or whatever she likes, she has my full permission. If she has an old boyfriend or a classmate and she is in that social group, she joined on WhatsApp and she is just chatting away in there all day long, it doesn't matter to me at all. It really doesn't matter to me anymore. Then everyone likes such a son-in-law. They say, what a wonderful son-in-law. But this is exactly what is called being a completely honorless person today. What do you think about this, brother? What is such a person called in reality? He is called honorless. But the one who says, I will have her wear the veil, I will take her around with me, but always with the restriction of the veil, and so on in that same religious manner. Then they say he is a fundamentalist even though he is a man of honor. Ever since the ways of the infidels became the fashion, they have completely changed the standards of good and bad. So the poet said in his verse, O my blamer, hold back your harsh blame from the one who has been completely exhausted by the length of his illness and the deep pain in his heart and my misery. He has made a great point. He says, look, I have fallen in love and people come to rebuke me for it. Oh, let them say whatever they want. He got set with this girl, then he got set with that other girl as well. Man, people say what a shameless guy he is. So he says, don't keep blaming me like this. It is of no use at all. These are like missed calls going to waste. It doesn't affect my health or my mood or my resolve at all, ever. Our mentor used to recite this verse regarding Allah's love. You should develop such deep love for Him that all these external criticisms seem like simple missed calls to you. What should they seem like? I don't mean calls from a miss, but actual missed calls. There are calls from a miss that distract you, and then there are missed calls that you ignore entirely. So the poet says, you people who come to criticize me, saying I have fallen in love with so-and-so, and you think I am feeling ashamed or shrinking back in fear, that I am withering away, but it makes no difference to me at all. So stop your criticism, because it is only a waste of your own precious time and energy, and it will never change my heart. You are just wasting your time, because the critic's blame circles around a wandering heart, my heart, which in someone's intense love has become so lost and fervent in its devotion. Love has become so fervent, the reproach of those female critics. Now, why did he specifically mention women? A woman's reproach feels very bitter to a man's heart. If a man taunts you for being a coward or dishonorable, it is not that bad. But if a woman says you are shameless, then a man feels it very deeply, don't you think? A woman's taunt is very painful for a man. So the poet says, let alone men, even if women come to criticize him. So I say this one thing to them, that adal al-awadili hawla qalbin ta'ihin, regarding my heart wandering in love, the many reproaches of the critics who try to reach me keep circling around my heart, while wahaw al-ahibbati minhu fi sawda'ihi remains settled deep inside. And the beloved's love has reached the very center of the heart, to its innermost point. So it is absolutely necessary that the critic's blame should be able to reach that same center. Reproach reaches that center to displace the love, right? Do you not understand what I am saying? The beloved's love has already established its permanent place in the center. It has settled right there, while the reproaches just circle around harmlessly to the far left and the far right. They gain nothing but a waste of their time. So he is saying, brother, you are just wasting your time. This is exactly like the situation in that old metaphor when archers are aiming their arrows at a deer. What are they doing to the deer? They are shooting one arrow after another, then yet another, but they are not hitting the actual mark at all, ever. But a wise man knows it's not the deer, but only its shadow. The deer is elsewhere. He'd say, you fools, there is no deer where you aim, you're wasting arrows. The arrows pass by on the left and right. You will just make arrows expensive for nothing. Go do something else instead, for the deer is not actually where you are aiming all your arrows. And where the deer actually is located, there is no path for the arrow to reach. You are only seeing the reflection of the deer, not the actual deer itself. So our master used to say, establish Allah's love in the center of your heart. It should be such powerful love that no arrow of criticism could ever penetrate the sanctuary of your soul. That if you act based on that love and people criticize you, their reproaches should just circle around and slip away into the distance without ever touching your inner peace or your resolve. So show them that this criticism doesn't affect us at all. I was telling you how people support nationalism in a blind way and how they prioritize their tribe over the truth. Many nations have been ruined by this, and this same issue exists among the Europeans and the Western world too. I was giving an example. I asked someone, you vote for your own clansman. What has he given you? He admitted nothing but said we must compete with the other tribe at any cost. After all, hatred for the other tribe has ruined us. This is what Islam came to end. This concept is called asabiya or tribal prejudice in the Arabic language. What is it called in Arabic? Asabiya. This prejudice isn't just found in nations. It exists within families and smaller groups too in our society. It exists in political parties as well, and it exists among religious people too in many cases.